The baby's cries echoed through the quiet cafe. It was late evening, the kind of time when most customers had already gone home, leaving only the warm glow of hanging lights and the faint scent of roasted garlic and herbs lingering in the air. Behind the counter, Daniel, a single father and chef, wiped his hands on a towel, his tired eyes lifting toward the sound. He wasn't startled. He had heard that cry before. Not that exact baby, but the sound of helplessness, the kind he knew all too well from his own daughter when she was little. And there, by the corner table, stood a woman dressed in elegance. A sharp navy blue suit, diamond earrings catching the light, and the kind of presence that whispered wealth and power. She looked completely out of place in his humble cafe. But right now, she didn't look powerful. She looked lost. Her baby girl clung to her, wailing while she shifted nervously, as though no amount of money or success could teach her how to quiet her child. Daniel's heart tugged. He set the towel aside, walked over, and gently asked, "Would you like me to try?" The woman blinked at him, startled. Her lips parted, ready to refuse, because women like her didn't hand over their babies to strangers. But something in his eyes stopped her. A softness, a knowing, a steadiness she didn't realize she craved. Hesitantly, she nodded. And just like that, Daniel held the crying baby in his arms. He rocked her gently, humming the same lullaby he had once sung to his own daughter. The cries softened, but not fully. Daniel smiled and said softly, almost to himself, "She's hungry." The woman frowned. But she refused her bottle. "I tried everything." Daniel nodded toward the kitchen. "Trust me." And within minutes, he was stirring something on the stove. He made a simple puree, fresh carrots simmered down, a hint of thyme, softened apples for sweetness. Nothing fancy, just gentle, honest food. The kind a parent makes with love, not recipes. When the baby tasted it, her cries melted into quiet little sighs. Then, she smiled. A baby's first satisfied smile, the kind that could melt even the coldest of hearts. The woman sat there, stunned, and for the first time in a very long time, tears filled her eyes. Her name was Isabella Lane, billionaire, CEO of a global fashion empire, a woman the world called iron-willed, unshackable, untouchable. Yet tonight she sat vulnerable in a small cafe, watching a single dad calm her child in a way she couldn't. "Who are you?" she whispered. Daniel looked at her, still cradling her baby. Just a dad who learned the hard way. The challenges their worlds couldn't have been more different. Daniel was struggling to keep his cafe alive. Bills piled up like bricks on his shoulders. Ever since his wife passed away 3 years ago, he'd been raising his daughter, Lily, alone. His cafe was more than a job. It was his dream, his wife's dream. But dreams don't pay electricity bills. Isabella, on the other hand, had everything money could buy, except peace. Her husband had left shortly after their baby was born, running off with someone younger, leaving Isabella to juggle board meetings with midnight feedings. She didn't know how to be both CEO and mom. And worst of all, she felt like she was failing at both. Daniel and Isabella were like night and day. But fate has a way of bringing opposites together. Their growing bond after that night, Isabella kept returning, sometimes with her baby, sometimes alone. She said it was for the food, but deep down Daniel knew it was something else. He had a way of cooking that wasn't about profit margins or presentation. It was about heart. Every dish he served carried a piece of his story. Sacrifice, love, resilience. Isabella found herself drawn to it, drawn to him. And Daniel, well, he tried not to notice the way Isabella's laughter softened when she played with her daughter in his cafe. He tried not to notice how her eyes lingered on him when he told stories about Lily. But he did. Still, challenges loomed. Isabella's world didn't understand why a billionaire businesswoman was spending time in a struggling cafe. Her board of directors warned her that being seen there was bad for the brand. Gossip magazines began whispering about the mysterious chef she was visiting. For Daniel, the pressure was crushing. He worried Isabella would realize how small his world was compared to hers. That one day she'd stop walking through his cafe door. And for Isabella, the greatest fear was that she'd fail her daughter again. That even with Daniel's help, she wasn't enough. The breaking point, it came one night when Isabella's company faced a crisis. She was torn between staying at the office to save her empire or going home to her crying baby. Exhausted, she snapped at Daniel when he offered to help. "You don't understand my life," she shouted, tears spilling. "You don't know what it's like to have the world expect you to be perfect every single day?" Daniel's jaw tightened. For a moment, he said nothing. Then, softly, he replied, "You're right. I don't know what it's like to have billions, but I know what it's like to hold a baby at 2 a.m., praying she'll stop crying. I know what it's like to feel like you're not enough. Don't tell me I don't understand, Isabella. Because I do." Silence hung between them. And in that silence, Isabella broke. Not in weakness, but in release. She finally allowed herself to be human. Resolution. From then on, things changed. Isabella began learning from Daniel, not just about food, but about slowing down, about cherishing small moments. She even started cooking with him, discovering that love could be stirred into a pot just as much as stitched into a dress. Daniel, in turn, found strength in her belief in him. She quietly invested in his cafe, not as a billionaire swooping in, but as a friend who wanted to see him succeed. And their children. Lily and Isabella's baby became inseparable, filling the cafe with laughter. The inspiring message. One evening, Isabella sat in Daniel's cafe with her daughter on her lap. She took a bite of his latest recipe, a recipe inspired by both their lives. As the flavors unfolded, she began to cry. Not because it was sad, but because it was healing. "Daniel," she whispered, "you didn't just feed my baby that night. You fed me. You reminded me I'm more than my titles, more than my mistakes." Daniel smiled. "And you reminded me that even when life feels impossible, we're never truly alone." And so, their story wasn't about billionaire walls or struggling cafes. It was about two broken people finding strength in each other. About how love doesn't always arrive like a grand feast. It sometimes begins with a single spoonful of food given to a crying baby. Call to action for viewers. If this story touched your heart, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you believe love can bloom in the most unexpected places? Share your feelings in the comments below. I read every one of them. And don't forget to subscribe to Be Kind Always for more emotional, inspiring stories just like this. Your support helps us continue spreading kindness, one story at a time. Because at the end of the day, no matter where we come from, wealthy or struggling, we all share the same hunger, the hunger to be loved, to be seen, to be understood. Remember, be kind always.